a 12th gen Intel chip, a bunch of ports, a small form factor, and a price tag of about $120. This is the Firebat T8 Pro, the best-selling mini PC on AliExpress. It sells in the tens of thousands and it has an incredibly high rating. This has piqued my interest. Just because an item is cheap doesn't mean that it will sell well. So I bought one and I spent a few weeks testing and messing around with it. And I think I know why it's selling well. Stick around. Before we go on, I just want to let you know that I buy my own products, so I'm not restricted on what I can and can't say. If you want to help support the channel at no additional cost to yourself, you can use the affiliate link in the description. Back to our topic. I was surprised with how small this thing is. I can literally fit it in the palm of my hand. Usually when you hear the words mini PC, you would expect something that looks like this. Something that can fit in the back of your monitor or tucked away in a shelf. But this takes the word mini to a whole new level. Let's start with what you get in the box. Usually the box itself is a good indication of what you would expect from the product, and the box itself is surprisingly well made. In the box, you get the PC, a 2.5 amp power supply, a VESA mount to stick to the back of your monitor, and an HDMI cable. The build is mostly plastic and it takes a huge inspiration from Apple. You know the phrase X on steroids? Well, this is like an Apple computer on life support. I picked the 16 GB RAM version. It was important to get the 16 GB as with modern computing, 8 GB is barely enough for anything. You have several options to choose from in combination with the storage, but if you're interested in this PC, I would strongly recommend not to get the 8 GB version, and you will see why shortly. I was curious to see what it's made of on the inside, so I took it apart to take a look. And I actually like it. And the reason is because not only does it have an actual cooling fan, but because you can actually upgrade the storage if you wanted to. It comes with the SATA 600 drive, but you can upgrade it to an NVMe drive. Not sure what gen speed it supports, but it's probably a Gen 2 or 3. The reason why I said you should get the 16 GB version is because the RAM is integrated and is not upgradable. The RAM speed is okay at 32 megatransfers per second. And although it's a bit of a letdown, I'm actually quite happy with how modular it is. Besides the storage, you can also upgrade the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and it even comes with a CMOS battery. If you take apart the heatsink, you can see the CPU. It's a Celeron N100, which is an entry-level CPU by Intel, and is mostly found on compute sticks, some of the $100 laptops that you can find on Temu, and single-board computers. Speaking of single-board computers, this is actually a single-board computer. And I guess the company that sells it doesn't think it's a good idea to advertise it as one. The N100 is a 4-core and 4 threads with a clock speed of 0.7 GHz and a 3.4 GHz turbo speed. Don't expect anything magical with the CPU. The 4 cores are only efficiency cores. That's why this PC consumes about 20 watts of power at full load. With that said, it's not a bad CPU. On one side you have 3 3.0 USB-A ports. On the other side you have 3 HDMI slots that are capable of 4K 60. Power button on the front, and on the back you have 2 Ethernet ports and a power port. The performance is actually on point and maybe even slightly better than expected. It's not cutting edge, but it's actually more capable than it looks. It boots up quickly and it comes preloaded with Windows 11 and it runs through day-to-day tasks without an issue. Stuff like web surfing, adjusting settings, installing programs, playing media, and so on. Speaking of media, I wanted to test and see how it would handle 4K videos on YouTube. And it managed it like an absolute champ. Other than a few dropped frames in the beginning, it was super stable. I ran several videos and it remained stable. I had to check if it was running at 4K 60, and indeed it was. Another reason why I got the 16 GB RAM version was to see if I can run Steam. I wanted to see if I can play Crash Bandicoot. I downloaded Steam, half expecting it not to work. To my surprise, it ran, but at an extremely low frame rate. Once I changed it to the lowest possible setting, bingo, it worked at its maximum frame rate of 60 FPS. So I guess if you lower your expectations and have enough patience, you can run anything. If you check the RAM usage, you can see that it easily exceeds 8 GB of RAM. And because the graphics are running at its lowest settings, this 2017 game looks like the original game that was released in 1997. Obviously, this is not a gaming PC, and if your budget is $100 and you're looking for a gaming PC, well, I think you need to recheck your priorities. Joking aside, the point was not to actually play games with it, but it's a good way to test and see if the PC is capable enough. Anyways, I did say in the beginning of the video that I know why it managed to sell tens of thousands of units. To put it simply, it's incredibly easy to set up, the price to performance is great, and the small form factor is appealing to a lot of people. I would say this is not a bad purchase, and the ratings are legit. It would have been ideal with a $100 price tag or less for the 16 GB model. And if you don't want to exceed the $100 price tag, you can get the 8 GB option. If you wanted to do some tasks on the fly, it boots up quickly enough to not get on your nerves. It plays 4K videos with relative ease, and it's fast enough for multitasking. So probably suitable for some schoolwork or as a media device or a full desktop when your phone or tablet cannot do the job. And I love the fact that it only takes about 20 watts to run on a full load. For comparison, my desktop tower consumes about 250 to 350 watts. With such specs and power, you can easily squeeze out several years of use out of it before it becomes unusably slow. And even then, you can install Tiny 11, which is a Windows 11 version with unnecessary programs removed, making it a lot faster and requiring less hardware power. But as it is, it doesn't require any additional modification and is ready to go out of the box. There are other options from more known brands like B-Link and GMK Tech that are more powerful but subsequently cost a lot more, anywhere from $200 to $600, and they're kind of an overkill for browsing the web or playing media. Besides AliExpress, you can also find it on Newegg and Amazon, and despite the change in the size, design, and colors, you can expect similar results and performance from the N100 chip. I will have a link for the product in the description if you want to check it out, and I will leave discount codes if I can find any. If you have enjoyed this video, you'll also enjoy my voiceover playlist. That's all for this video. I'll catch you in the next one.